We're mic'd up with Montgomery.
Welcome to Real Talk, where real estate needs real conversations. Connections? Connection's a good one.
Is it?
Yeah, I like it. We have real connections. I like it. Okay, I'm Brittany.
I'm Sean.
Welcome.
Welcome to the podcast. Hope everybody's having a great
gosh.
week.
Yeah. So, no, you know how we I don't know. I was videoing and Amber. Okay, here's a different story. I'm going to go 4 different stories here. I know you love this. Okay. So, your wife's telling me, okay, I sent her videos and I was like, yeah, they have really great landscaping. Okay. And she was like, okay, do you have it in landscape? And I was like, yep, here's some videos of landscaping. And she's like, no, do you have it in landscape? She kept saying it. And I was like, yep, here's some flower pictures. And she's like, no, landscape.
Like turn your phone sideways.
Yes. And I was like, oh, no, I didn't do that. So today I was like, oh, I'm going to go take a video. I'm going to do landscape with it. But then as I'm recording, I forget that on landscape, I usually hold my phone like that. So then I was like putting my fingers, freaking finger every time.
Oh, man.
I had to stop and I'm like, dang it, my finger's on the photo, video, whatever. And I'm like, I can grab that out. There's one time I was like,
what we're going to do, we're going to be practicing how to hold a phone for videos.
I'm like, I need the little holder thing. But I need the one that doesn't shake, because also when I go up the stairs, I'm like trying to walk as gentle as possible. I'm like, how do people glide up the stairs like that? I'm like, over your trumpet. Whatever. It's fine. What's one of your most asked questions from a seller when they're getting an offer?
Where do I cash out at?
Yeah, exactly.
How fast can we close?
Yep.
Is there an inspection?
Yeah. Yep. So today's question is, what do I make in the end? Because that's what people care about sometimes. So what do sellers make in the end? So there's a lot of factors, and every time I get an offer, it's not just purchase price. Never just purchase price you're looking at. You're looking at 8 different things.
Right.
So let's talk about those things.
All right.
So we're going to do some fake numbers here, okay? Because I like numbers. I don't like visual.
I do not like math, but I'll do it.
Yeah. You got your purchase price, okay? We're going to say 200, okay?
Well, she's making it complicated.
Well, I'm making it more round numbers.
What if we did 376,000?
Oh my gosh, that's Okay,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Okay. We got purchase price 200,000. Okay. So now, what other things could drop this number in your purchase?
What other things will drop that number?
Will. Yes. There's things that will, but some things that could.
So the biggest confusion in the area is taxes.
Yeah.
Because technically you pay your taxes a year behind in South Dakota. So if I close on my house on December 1st, I'm going to credit that buyer for 11 months taxes.
Yeah. Because the next year.
Because they will be responsible for paying them next year when they come due.
Yeah. Because you can't just sell your house at the end of the year and then never pay those taxes for that year. Because when you buy your next house, you will also get credit for the next year.
So say my taxes for 11 months are $2,500. That's going to come off of that price.
Okay. What did we say?
2,500, let's say.
Okay. So now your taxes come off. So now also on that purchase, and you'll see that as a taxes prorated to closing.
Yep.
Number. Then we've got seller concessions. Possibly. So this is that possibility, not an always.
My buyer wants a $3,000 seller credit, and you agreed to it.
It could go to 2 different ways. It could go a percentage, or it could go that. So if it's a percentage, it's normally, I would say, not over 5%. I mean,
3 is pretty common.
3 is common, but it could be a percentage. I'm not saying it's gonna be 50%. It's common though for it to be a percentage.
And if you're looking at 3% of $200,000, that is
3%, but you could also do a round number.
That is $6,000 in seller credit.
Yes. So let's just do it, because that I feel like is pretty common.
She doesn't trust me.
I don't. Yeah, you're right. I just want to make sure. I don't want people coming back and being like, the math thing. Okay, so that's going to be some concessions.
Yep.
Okay, so what that is that's the seller giving the buyer money for closing costs.
Yep.
Okay.
Basically, the buyer sometimes is elevating their price, sometimes they're not. But it's the only way that a buyer can actually roll those into the loan is by asking the seller to pay for them.
Yeah. So sometimes this number looks amazing, great. Oh, cool. It's over asking. Say asking is 190. Wow, that's great. But then, yeah, now you're still also losing 6.
Plus, we have to do half of the title insurance.
Yes. So then you got closing / commissions, / your mortgage. Okay. So this is all a little bit more variable type of things. Whatever you're agreeing on commissions, whatever you've got for closing costs, which closing costs includes your title insurance, your
Closing fee.
closing fees, your
And those are
deed.
roughly, like closing title insurance, roughly $500 because you split it with buyer.
Yeah.
Closing fee, let's say 200 to 250 because you're splitting that with the buyer as well. And then commission can be whatever you agreed to when you listed the property.
It comes from this purchase
from
price.
that top price, not the bottom price. It comes
Right.
off of this price.
That's where I think some people get confused too, is like this number is where you're basing off of a lot of things. Like that comes from your concessions, come from that, your commissions come from that. So it's like it comes from that, not this minus this, and then you're
right.
Yeah.
And you're simple, so you as a seller also pay for the deed prep. Simple deed prep is going to be between $150 to $250, depending on what attorney you use. That's your choice. Otherwise, we just pick somebody and get it done. But if you have to clean up other title issues, so there was a past deed that was signed incorrect and you need a new deed signed for that person and out of Colorado, I've had this happen before, that's an additional fee. If there are multiple people and you need different signature pages and you need them sent off to different states, that's a different story altogether.
Definitely. There's
other things that can affect this number and all these numbers is if we'd run the title insurance and come up, you find that you have outstanding medical bills of $10,000
or liens.
Well, guess what those attach to? Those attached to your house.
Any sort of lien against your house is going to come up on that title insurance. And that's why they pull it.
Yeah.
So that the next buyer doesn't have this construction worker come back or somebody else come back and be like, oh, there's a lien against this house. Deed, now it's your fault. Like, no, it's
so if this seller owed, let's say this seller owed $190,000 on their house and they tried to sell it for $200,000 thinking that they're going to walk away with money, they're actually going to owe money at the end because all these fees are going to be higher than the than the
which even if you took this out, you're probably going to owe money.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So say with closing costs, commissions, mortgage, say we've got 80,000 is what they owe. Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't know what their mortgage is. We don't know what closing costs that. We're just going to put a round number to it. So then after all of this, let's see, anything else I missed?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I mean, you've got kind of a lump sum there, so.
Yeah. No, let's minus this out. It's bad. Can you do it faster than I can?
In my head.
Okay. 111,500. Okay. So now that's what you're coming home with.
Yep.
Okay. Because when you go to closing, they're going to take care of everything. They're going to take care of the taxes. They're going to take
so
care of
oftentimes people say, well, what do I owe you at closing? Or what do I need to bring checks for at closing? Well, nothing.
Yeah.
If you're getting money back, the title company is paying all these fees. Everything that comes out, they're sending all the checks out, they're recording everything's done. This check at the end, aside from your final utility bills, is what you get to keep.
Yep.
So that's always people always wonder, well, do I need to bring checks? No, that's what we pay for the closing fee for.
Like we always tell you, you're going to probably get some sort of tax document, especially if you're closing towards the end of the year. You're going to get that, but you already paid that. So like keep it for your records.
Property tax.
Yes.
So I had some properties close in, I want to say August of 2024, and they still got the bill in the original owner still got the bill in the mail, and they said, whoa, I thought I paid these. I'm like, yes, you did. You're fine.
Yeah.
It hasn't been updated in the system yet. So it's okay. Take a deep breath, hand it to me, and I'll pass it off.
Like we can check into it, especially like if it's 2 years ago or something.
We have signed documentation that yes, you are no longer responsible for the property taxes and the buyer is.
But that's the nice part. You do show up a lot of times to closing. Even if you're the buyer, a lot of times if you have a lender, they show up with the check. Like you're showing up and you're like, okay, sign all the papers. Right. Everything's taken care of right there so that you don't have to all of a sudden go home and have another surprise $80,000.
Right. And I think another thing to touch on with this also is sometimes people looking at the market will say, "Wow, that house is way overpriced, and what the world is going on?" But if you look at the somebody who bought this house last year and they spent $190,000 and they financed 190,000, they're gonna have to raise their price up. I mean, maybe their job changed, maybe everything changed, and they have to get rid of this house if at all possible. Well, they're gonna have to try and get a higher price out of this house. Otherwise, that buyer just can't bring 20,000 to the closing table.
Mhm. Yeah, because this could easily go down if
Oh,
they just bought it
fast.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're barely making that. Well,
Yeah,
now
or sometimes it's like that. Yeah.
Yep, or sometimes it's a negative. I mean, not it.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So we try to, as real estate agents, we try to guide people in the best way we can. But ultimately, if this house was purchased 6 months ago and somebody needed to get rid of it because they had a, change of lifestyle or a change of plans, we're going to try to do whatever we can to help them cash out of it.
that is a lot of the issue. Like you said, I feel like if you bought it 2 years ago, you're gonna struggle because you haven't gotten that chance to pay enough down to make enough of a difference. The market hasn't changed enough to give you that real estate's going up, but not as quick as your payment was and stuff. So
Right.
that is hard. So I think that's across the board. Everybody's seeing that for real estate overall. You've got buyers who want to buy but can't, houses that seem too expensive, but the sellers have to get that. You've got sellers that are stuck because they can't go lower.
Mhm.
It's just kind of all over everybody's a
Yeah,
little bit.
and every
stuck.
situation is different.
Yeah.
And numbers are numbers. Every offer that we get for a seller, we have to do an estimated cash out statement because they are all completely different.
Yeah.
You could change one line item in there, and if somebody's not watching really close for you, it could change the whole game.
Yeah, because that's number 6 on our purchase agreement is the concessions. So I want to go back to that. Okay. So it is for now. I mean, it's going to change probably. It's right now it's number 6. I know that, but purchase agreements change all the time. We edit stuff. Okay. So our number 6 concessions. Why would somebody ask for that? That's my question. Why would somebody
There's
need
a couple of
to ask
reasons
for it?
that they would ask for it. One, maybe they don't have $6,000 sitting in their bank account.
Yeah.
They don't have that money sitting there, but it makes more sense for them to buy a house than it does to pay $1,200 a month rent.
Yeah. So where Sean's getting 6,000, yeah, from that.
That's just a
Yeah.
ballpark. Your
Yep.
lender actually, I don't know what you need for concessions.
No.
I don't look at your bank account. I don't know what your loan says. Your lender is where we get that number from. So if they
Sometimes.
if
and
they
sometimes
say
people just ask for it.
sometimes,
Yeah.
but if they say, oh, maybe you want, maybe you want to ask for $2,000 credit or a $3,000 or a 3%, whatever that is, that a lot of times comes from the lender though.
Yeah. So here's the difference of a question. Okay. So you have $206,000 offer with 6,000 in concessions.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you compare that to a $200,000 offer with 0 in concessions. Okay. What's the difference here?
The only difference in my mind, these are both a $200,000 offer in my mind, but this one you're paying commission on another $6,000.
Yep. That's how I see it too. So to the seller, you're paying this 6,000, just a little bit more commission, like you said. It's
Really, if this 200,000 is where you want to be, I would not squawk about that because it's not much money.
No.
It's really not.
It's not in the end.
But it is a few bucks. So.
But for the buyer now, the difference between this is bigger.
For the buyer, yes.
Yes.
The buyer, this is like, I can buy this house now, and with no concession, I can't buy your house.
Yeah. So 200,000 over 30 years. Okay, quite a bit. Then adding this 6,000 to it, $6,000 over 30 years is not that much.
It's probably $5 a month.
Yeah. What?
You're not even gonna be able
Even
to
if
figure that.
How much divided by 12? $16 a month without interest. Like we're not counting interest there, but $16.66 a month. Okay, to them for this $6,000. But they're getting this $6,000 in concessions. Right there, that $6,000 instantly is going to their closing costs. So that doesn't have to come out of their personal banking account.
Yeah. And sometimes people have the money in their bank account, but they need to buy furniture, or maybe they want to update the furnace or whatever. If this works, go for it. If that's what keeps the offer together, do it.
Yeah.
Because
in the end game,
they're raising their price. If the asking price was $200, they are willing to go up $6,000 in order to roll that into their loan.
Yeah, because if their lender says, yeah, you're approved for, say, up to 210, and they offer this 206, but they want that concessions because they just don't have that. When people are like, oh, you need 20% down, 10% down, whatever percentage down. Some loans you don't need any, but if you need so much down, well, that can add up. So this is going to go towards that, so that maybe at closing you only have to bring 5,000 instead of 11,000.
Right.
Great. Yep. You like it. But then, yeah, so this, all in all, let's just do, okay, so 6,000, and then at 1%, so every percent, did I do this right? Every percent is going to be $60. Is that it?
It's not much.
I know. So if you're worried, like, oh, I'm paying X amount in commissions, every percent that you're paying in commissions is $60. Is that right?
I'm watching Brittany's doubt in her face.
I don't know. Mathing. Okay, we shouldn't do this in the morning. Is that right?
Well, every $1,000 would be three.
I didn't think of it.
Yeah.
Come here.
Would be 30. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's not that much. It feels wrong. It doesn't feel right. Something feels wrong.
But I mean, really, so sellers often come to us and say, "Well, why would I pay any of their money?" And I said, "Well, that's not really the way to look at it. You need to look at, okay, so we take the concession and we take the 206, we take the concession off. That gets you to 200. Let's look at that number. Is that an acceptable number to you? And if it is, then let's roll with it. And if it's not, then we raise the price and negotiate it."
Yeah. And like you said, you could put that as a round number. You could say 6,000. You can say 3%. You can say 2%. Sometimes the variable of the percentage gets people.
Yeah.
They're like, that seems like a lot. Well, then you see the number.
Well, it does. I mean, if you're asking for 3% of a $100,000 house, it's a lot different than asking for 3% on a $400,000 house.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of different ways to look at those numbers.
And the hard part is you get people who say like you said, I don't want to pay them cash to buy my house. Why would I do that? There is a lot of reasoning behind it, and it's not you paying them cash. Like they don't just walk into closing, get this 6,000 handed to them, and they go woohoo. We put in there, it goes towards closing costs, down payment. Now it has to go towards this house purchase.
Buyer expenses are appraisals, loan origination fees.
They're the split title costs.
There's just a ton of fees that lenders charge buyers oftentimes, and sometimes they just don't have the money. But like I said, it just makes more sense for them to buy a house and build equity than it does to rent at $1,000 or $1,200 a month. So this is how we try to make it all work.
I feel like I'm still stuck on that math. I don't know why.
It's
okay.
all good. It's fine.
Okay. I'm so lost. Of 6,000, $60 is the difference, but that's not what I wanted to do.
I wasn't sure where she was
going. I don't know where I was going with that. Okay, it's just not that much.
It's not clocking, huh?
It's not clocking. It's not. Sometimes math, I love my finance side of my jobs that I've had before when I was at the school. Loved it. Love numbers, balancing stuff out. But some days I'm like, math ain't mathin'. I have to have a calculator. That's why we run those estimation sheets, because I could be like, oh, it's not that bad, and then you're like thinking about it and you're like, wait, we gotta write it all out.
Yeah.
Let's write out everything.
We do have a sheet for all of our sellers where we plug in, here's the price, here's the concessions, here's the commission, here's the fees,
what you owe for
here's
mortgage.
What you owe for a mortgage, here's what you're gonna walk away with. Or it's just an estimate, so it's a close number, but it still gives you a very good idea on where you're
and like you update it all the time. So like when deed transfer stuff changes in price, like we update that. So
Right.
like it's the most accurate estimation
Right.
that we can give you.
Yep.
And it is nice. Those are nice because,
They're very close.
well, especially when you have a situation like this where people are like so confused, like it just,
Yeah,
they're
you
like,
can
why
use
am
it
I
for
doing this? I'm like,
scenarios.
you're giving it on the back end, but yes, you are paying a little bit more here, but
Yeah.
somebody else coming in $2,000 lower on this 200 with 0% concessions, you're still gonna pay. You're still gonna make more on this
Well,
side.
and if you have both offers, if you have these two offers sitting next to each other, this is not going to be the deciding factor.
No.
It's going to be the closing date,
The inspections,
the inspections, the lender or cash or what is it. There's other variables you're going to
Yeah.
take into consideration. If these two offers were the exact same, I mean, you'd have to flip
That's
a
where
coin
the
to choose
estimation sheet is nice because then people can see
them. Right.
this. Like as long as this bottom number comes out to 200, then it is nice for people to see that broke down. But sometimes this can be higher. The issue though with this, I think the one issue that you find with people upping the purchase price is we do a market analysis.
Mm-hmm.
And if all of a sudden you're coming in saying you want 10,000 in concessions, but you're gonna up the price by 10,000, you gotta make sure that it's gonna appraise for that.
You got to be careful with that.
Yeah, because
Because
you
if the
can't just
appraiser
come
comes in and says, no, this house is only worth 200, your deal's off unless you can,
unless you can find
unless you
another
drop your
6,000.
price, and then you're locked into a $200,000 offer with a $6,000 concession.
Or
So
you
there's a
take off
lot of
yeah.
variables that go
And-
into this.
Everybody thinks it's just so simple.
Yeah.
It's always funny. I don't know. There's a lot of people who can sell a house themselves, sure, but there's a lot of ways that you can kind of get screwed over. So
Yeah,
it's,
without a doubt.
Yep, it's nice to kind of know the end game and not do the work.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's a lot like so. We'll do the work.
Yeah.
Call
Well,
us.
there's today's advice for you, huh?
Mathing. Okay,
Yeah.
now somebody can correct all this. Okay, all these math teachers. Now that we're back to school, correct my math.
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah.
We're close enough. We're just
I'm fine.
ballparking.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening this week. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share
On everything.
on everything.
And remember, who you work with matters.